Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Day 2 coverage of the NFL Draft. Obviously, the Chicago Bears did not have a round 1 pick, but they do have 2 picks here in the second round. We're at about pick 40 right now, so just a couple of selections away from when the Bears are expected to pick with the number 43 pick in the NFL Draft. Appreciate everybody joining us here on Chicago Bears Now. We'll stay live through both of the Bears selections and keep you up to date if there's any trades, and keep you up to date with the other picks happening in the NFL Draft as well. If you're ready for the Bears Draft, like this video. We've been waiting a day and a half for the Chicago Bears to pick, so go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. A lot of you guys liked the video beforehand. We're already at 18 likes on the video. Let's get to 100 likes before the Bears pick at pick number 43. Go ahead and like this video. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. But when it comes to the Chicago Bears, they have the number 43 pick. They have the number 50 pick, so we are ready to go here on Chicago Bears Now. Hopefully the Bears will make a couple of good draft picks here in the second round. As of now, the Houston Texans are on the clock with the number 40 pick in the NFL Draft. This is their first pick as well, so like the Bears, they have not had a pick up to this point. But to kind of recap what's happened so far here in round 2, T. Higgins, the Clemson wide receiver, he went to Cincinnati with the first pick of the second round. Michael Pittman Jr., the Colts wide receiver, he goes to the Colts at number 34. DeAndre Swift, the running back out of Georgia, he lands with the Detroit Lions. And then Xavier McKinney, the Alabama safety, he gets taken by the New York Giants. Kyle Duggar, the Lenore Ryan safety, he goes to the Patriots at number 37. Yetur Gross-Matos, he goes to the Panthers at number 38. And then Robert Hunt, a player the Bears were interested in, the interior offensive lineman from Louisiana, he lands with the Miami Dolphins with pick number 39. Bears are at pick number 43, so just a couple of selections away until Chicago will be on the clock. Should the Bears draft a quarterback in round 2? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I got a couple of shout outs going here in the comments section. You can answer more than once. We're just sitting a few draft picks away from the Chicago Bears' first pick in the NFL Draft. Jackson says no. Joe says no. Andrew says no. DOWNE'S says no. Alva says no. Tony says no. Everybody's saying no. I'm with you guys. I do not think the Bears should be drafting a quarterback here in the second round. Some of the best ones available, though, if they did want to go quarterback, Jalen Hurts is still on the board. The quarterback out of Oklahoma, Jake Fromm, Jacob Eason, Anthony Gordon. We've talked about all of these guys quite a bit, and I'm not opposed to the Bears drafting a quarterback. I just don't think any of these guys are worth a round 2 selection. Now, if Chicago was going to trade down from pick number 43 or pick number 50, I think it might be a different story, but in the end, I don't think they will take Jalen Hurts at pick number 43. You look at the Bears quarterback depth chart as we sit right now, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, they're expected to have a quarterback competition. That is what the organization keeps telling us, so we will see how that ends up. I think drafting a quarterback still could be on the table, especially if the Bears trade down, but I think it's going to be Foles or Trubisky in 2020. Who do you guys think will start this upcoming season? You think it'll be Foles or do you think it'll be Trubisky? If you think it's Foles, type 9. He's officially wearing number 9. That is official now. Or type 10 for Trubisky. Obviously, he wears number 10. Get a few shout-outs from you guys here in the comments section. Go ahead and shout out there. Hilly Billy says 9. Hunter says 9. Walt also says 9. Alva says 10. Slickshot says 10. Jim says 10. Sage says 9. Joe says 9. Rich Mercer says 10. Pretty split here. I'd say it's 50-50 as you guys continue to cast your votes. The Chai says 10. Wesley says 9. Kerry Cook says 9. Joey says 10. Larry says 9. Sodolisa says 10. So keep those votes coming. Which quarterback will start for the Bears in 2020? So you guys don't think it'll be a quarterback. But who do you want the Bears? Who are you predicting the Bears to draft with the 43rd overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft? Give me some names. Who do you want the Bears to target at pick number 43? Obviously, I just recapped some of the picks so far in the second round of the draft. T. Higgins is off the board. The Lenore Ryan safety Kyle Duggar is off the board. I think those are a couple of interesting players I would have been interested in for the Bears. Obviously, Robert Hunt, another one as well. Joe says Josh Jones. Joey says Xavier or Delpit. McKinney already went off the board, so he's not an option. Jalen Hurts coming in for Mr. Blonde. I don't think they will go quarterback, but keep your votes coming in. Who do you want the Bears to draft at pick number 43? Well, the Texans have made their pick. They're going Ross Blacklock, the defensive tackle out of TCU. Fringe round 1 type of player. He falls to round 2. Tom Downey, our lead analyst here at Chat Sports, he has him as his number 58 overall player. Hybrid second, third round pick. I'm a little higher on him, but this is probably a little bit too high. But the Bears will not be taking him at pick number 43 as the Texans land him at number 40. He's lost some weight. When he first went to TCU, he's like 330 pounds, and now he's 290, so he's not that big, 325-pound nose tackle type. He's more of a flexible interior defensive tackle type that can stop the run and get after the passer as well. So Ross Blacklock off the board, 4 sacks last year, 40 tackles, a couple of quarterback hits as well. The stats don't jump off the page, but he does require a lot of attention. Keep in mind with Blacklock, too, he had an Achilles tear a couple of years ago. But we're one pick closer to the Bears' first selection. We are at pick number 41 as we'll see who's on the board coming up here. Looks like it's the Colts via the Cleveland Browns here. So we'll see who the Colts decide to take at pick number 41. We're just a couple of picks away from the Chicago Bears. But Ross Blacklock, he goes to the Houston Texans with the 40th overall pick in the NFL Draft. Like this video if you're ready for the Bears to draft. I'm ready. We sat around in round 1 wondering if they would trade into the first round. I didn't think it would happen. It did not happen. Obviously, the Bears have 2 second-round picks, so we could be pretty busy here tonight on Chicago Bears Now. So like this video. Also share this video. We're just over 100 people live watching right now. Let's get that number up so we can stay on longer and I can break down these picks. So go ahead, like this video. Appreciate everybody who has done so already. All right, Jonathan Taylor is off the board, the Wisconsin running back. He goes to the Colts with the number 41 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. There's been a little chatter that maybe the Bears could draft a running back. Obviously, they lost Jordan Howard a couple of years ago, but I like David Montgomery. There are trade rumors surrounding Tariq Cohen, but I think he'll be back in the end as well. Jonathan Taylor, not the best receiving back, but if he would have gone back to Wisconsin his senior year, he probably would have broken the college football record for career rushing yards. He ran for over 2,000 yards last year. He's an excellent runner. I think he'd be a good runner in this Bears offense, quite frankly. But in the end, I think that this is a good pick for the Colts. He is obviously an option that is off the board. So Jonathan Taylor goes to the Colts. We're just 2 picks away from the Chicago Bears' first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. They have the 43rd pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock as they have the number 42 overall pick here in the 2020 NFL Draft. Let's take a look at Tom Downey's best available players. Christian Fulton is still there. Hey, the Bears need a corner. Take Fulton if he is there. Please just do it. Grant Delpit, another LSU defensive back. They need a safety, but Delpit's more of a free safety. The Bears need a box safety next to Eddie Jackson. So I'm not crazy about that fit, but I wouldn't hate it at this point in the draft. Denzel Mims, the receiver out of Baylor. Antoine Winfield Jr., I'd be good with that pick. I actually like him in that box safety role next to Eddie Jackson, so that would be an interesting pick. A couple more players who are still available. J.K. Dobbins, the Ohio State running back. A.J. Epinesa, the edge out of Iowa. Trayvon Diggs, the Alabama corner. So that means Diggs or Fulton will be available. The Bears are in a good spot. You can take Winfield as well, assuming he doesn't go. Josh Uche is on the board also. There's some good options here as the Bears are about to pick. Zach Bond is a really good player. Ezra Cleveland, the tackle out of Boise State. If you want to go offensive line, that is a good option. Josh Jones is available as well. We know the Bears need offensive line help, so there are avenues in which the Bears could go in this NFL Draft at pick number 43. We're awaiting the Jags pick here at 42 as the Jaguars are on the clock. But we're all waiting for the Chicago Bears draft pick. Guys, we need more likes on this video. We got 55 likes right now. We're trying to get to at least 60 before the Bears pick at number 43. So go ahead, like this video. When you like this video, it grows the audience. It sends a message to Google, and that gives us more chance to stay live longer, which is what we want to do so we can keep you guys covered with what the Bears are doing in the NFL draft. So go ahead, like this video. We're over 60 now. We're at 68 likes according to my screen. Over 70. Let's get to 100. 27 away from 100 likes. There's 125 of you watching, so if everybody likes the video, we will be at 100 likes by the time the Bears make their draft selection. So I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and we would greatly appreciate that. Producer Dylan working hard behind the scenes. I'm on air carrying this thing for Chicago Bears now. Some of the quarterbacks on the board include Jalen Hurts, Jake Fromm, Jacob Eason, and Anthony Gordon. I don't think QB will be the pick here. Some running backs available include J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Zach Moss, Darrington Evans. Dobbins would be interesting in this offense, but I think there are much bigger needs. Wide receiver, Denzel Mims, Laviska Shenault, KJ Hamler, Chase Claypool. I like all these players. Look, if they took Denzel Mims here, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's not the biggest need, but he is one of the best players available, so I think that could be an option for the Bears. Tight end is a need. Adam Trotman, Cole Kmet. You know the Bears have been linked to Kmet for quite some time now. They've also met with Bryson Hopkins 3 times. I don't think they would take him here, but you never know in the end. They could take one of these guys, offensive tackle. We know the Bears need offensive line help. Ezra Cleveland, Josh Jones, you could argue they are first-round talents. Lucas Niang's an interesting player. He probably would have gone in round 1, but he did have hip surgery after this season for TCU. And then Prince Tega Wanogho out of Auburn is kind of more of a project. I think he's more of a round 3, round 4 guy. So those are some of the best players available at some of the positions on the board as we approach the Bears pick at number 43. Laviska Shenault, there he goes. We just talked about him. The wide receiver out of Colorado goes to Jacksonville as Gardner Minshew gets another weapon to play with out for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like this pick. I think it's a good pick. I think the Bears would have had some interest, maybe at pick 50, probably not at 43, but if he was sitting there at 50, I think they would have shown some interest. He's a versatile player. He can play some running back, play some receiver, does some wildcat stuff, kind of like a Cordero Patterson, but he's actually a little bit better of a receiver prospect. Very similar type of player and body size as well. You see the production. He was banged up a little bit last year at Colorado, did have a 1,000-yard season in 2018. So the Chicago Bears are officially on the clock after Jacksonville takes Laviska Shenault Jr. at pick number 42. Who are they going to take? Who are the Bears going to take at pick number 43? That is what we all want to know as we await the selection for the Chicago Bears. It's finally here, guys. We've been waiting. Maybe they'll trade down. That could be an option, but go ahead and let me know who you guys think the Bears will pick here. Let's see a couple of shout-outs here. Someone says take Fulton at CB and an offensive lineman at 50. That's from Joey. I would be great with that. I love that idea. It's pretty. If you want a corner, you got 2 good options, Trayvon Diggs or Christian Fulton. Just pick one. Fulton is sitting there. Antoine Winfield coming from Slick Shot. I like that option as well to get a defensive back. I have no problems with that. A couple more Fultons coming in the comments, so go ahead and spam the comment section. You can type your answer more than once. Predict who the Bears will pick in this selection at number 43. You got to look at the Bears' offseason profile. Offensive guard, cornerback, safety, those have been my top 3 needs. I think tackle is a need as well. It's not a pressing need, but it is a need also. Interior offensive line is a bigger one. Obviously, the Bears were pretty busy this offseason. They added Robert Quinn, Jimmy Graham, Nick Foles trade, obviously. Lost Nick Kwiatkowski, Prince Amukamara, HaHa Clinton Dix, and Taylor Gabriel. So I think it's offensive line or corner here. I really think that's what it is. Obviously, the Bears didn't have a first-round pick, so there's pressure on Ryan Pace and this front office to get this pick right. You've got to hit this pick, really both of these second-round picks. You need depth at several positions, and you need starters in some cases as well. So I'm going to ask you again, go ahead and predict who the Bears will draft at pick number 43. Go ahead and let me know. We got almost 200 of you guys live, so spam the comment section with this selection. What do you guys think the Bears are going to do? Ezra Cleveland coming in from Adam, Josh Jones from Cooper, Alex Davis says Jalen Hurts, Andrew Jimenez says Denzel Mims. Francisco says Jalen Hurts. Cooper says Josh Jones, I assume. Tilted Siege says Trayvon Diggs. Christian Fulton from Jose. Connor Lee says Jeremy Chin, a player we've spent some time talking about, the safety out of Southern Illinois. Winfield Jr., the GOAT says Cole Kmet, so keep those coming in. I'll shout you guys out. F. Woosh says Trayvon Diggs. Labib says Fulton. Cole Kmet coming in from the GOAT. Lee J says Christian Fulton as well. Josh Jones from Luke. So keep those shout outs coming in, and we will get to the pick momentarily as it is in. With the number 43 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Cole Kmet, the tight end out of Notre Dame. I got to give Mel Kiper Jr. some credit. This was his mock, and I think his very last two-round mock draft, he had Cole Kmet at pick number 43 going to the Chicago Bears. I will get, my thoughts on the grade in just a little bit, but just a little background. He's, in my opinion, he's the best tight end in this class. I know Tom Downey has him as his number 2 tight end, but I think he's solid. He's good all around. I think he's Kyle Rudolph with slightly more athleticism. He can block, he can run, he can catch. He's not going to wow you by any means, but this is a solid pick. I think they could have done better here. I would have gone Christian Fulton perhaps, but all in all, I like this selection. The Bears don't have their long-term answer at tight end. They just don't. If you think Jimmy Graham is going to save the day for the next half decade, that's not going to be the case. Cole Kmet has a chance to come in here and be out of Notre Dame, the Bears tight end for the foreseeable future. So I like this pick overall. I want you guys to give me your one-word reaction to the Bears pick of Cole Kmet. I'll say above average. That's the hyphenated one word there. Above average. Not great, not awesome. I think you could have gotten him at pick 50 potentially, but I do think it's an above average to good pick. Like I like this. I'll grade it in a little bit. I'll ask you guys to grade this pick as well, but go ahead and give me your one word reaction to the pick. Couple of shout outs here. Adam says need. Humble says trash. Henry says good. The Shy says needed. Overall, I think it's pretty positive. Someone says decent, okay. Yeah, it's above average. It's not an A+ by any means, but keep those coming in the comment section and answer what this one-word reaction to the pick is. So Cole Kmet is the selection for the Chicago Bears. I think he's the best tight end in this class. 43 grabs last year, 515 yards, 12 yards a catch, 6 touchdowns. Not the most explosive player, but he's good. Like I said, I think he's got his ceiling is slightly better than Kyle Rudolph. Say what you want about Kyle Rudolph, he's been pretty good for the Minnesota Vikings for a long time now. I like Rudolph a lot. I think that comp is good. I think Cole Kmet can be a 10-year pro at tight end for the Chicago Bears. And if you're getting a long-term starter in the middle of the second round, you're doing pretty good. Like the Bears tight end depth chart right now, yeah, it's better than last year, but that's not saying much. They released Trey Burton, obviously. They signed Jimmy Graham. They brought in Demetrius Harris. I think Harris slides to tight end 3. Cole Kmet, your tight end 2. I could see a lot of 2 tight end sets this year. Kmet's a better blocker than Jimmy Graham. That's for damn sure. So I think overall, I'm fairly pleased with this pick. I wonder if they could have gotten him at pick 50, but I think in the end, look, if you feel strongly about the tight end position, go get your guy, and that's what the Bears have done here. This isn't a risky pick. I think his floor is fairly high. I think at worst, he is a average starting tight end. At best, maybe he becomes a Pro Bowl type. I don't know. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think he'll end up being a solid pro for 10 or 15 years. Like, that's just the type of athlete I think Kmet can be. And he is a good athlete because he started his college career as a baseball player as well for Notre Dame. So played multiple sports in college, broke onto the scene this year at Notre Dame as a tight end, and now he has earned a spot on the Chicago Bears. So grade the pick for me. Round 2, pick number 43, it's Cole Kmet, the tight end out of Notre Dame. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give it a B. It's above average. Average is a C. Above average to good is in that B range. A is excellent. It's not an A because tight end to me isn't the top need. I think offensive line and corner are bigger needs, but it's a good pick. I'll give it a B. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I'll get a couple of Chicago Bears. Keep those rolling in as we grade the pick. Bears jerseys are on sale. Cole Kmet jersey will be available very, very soon when you go to this link. It's chatsports.com chatsports.com/Bears1, chatsports.com/Bears1. That is the link you can go to. Go to that link. You can get a Bears jersey. Lots of different Bears jerseys on sale, including their new draft picks. You got to give it a little bit of time, but they will be up there and available at chatsports.com/Bears1. That link is in the comments. It's in the description. Go ahead and take advantage of a jersey sale today. You look at the Bears' offseason profile, so they've added a tight end in Cole Kmet. It's a bigger need than a wide receiver in my opinion. I think you get a long-term potential starter in Kmet. So you pair him with Jimmy Graham. You got your 1-2 punch at tight end this year. I'm sweating after that pick. I was hyped up for it. I was waiting for it. In the end, I think it was a good selection for the Chicago Bears. So we'll see what they do at pick 50, but at pick number 43, I think you have to feel pretty good about what the Bears have done with that pick. I gave it a solid B. It's not an A. I would have gone Christian Fulton, but I understand getting a tight end in there. Hey, maybe the Bears are confident Fulton or Diggs falls to you at 50. And if they do, that is a great pick for the Chicago Bears. So go ahead and continue to get your grades of Cole Kmet down in the comment section and get yourself a Bears jersey at chatsports.com/Bears1. Chatsports.com/Bears1. That's how you can get a Bears jersey on sale, including the new draft picks just shortly after they are selected. Our partner Fanatics typically gets their jersey up there. You can pre-order it, and once their number is confirmed, they will send it your way. So Cole Kmet is the pick. He is just 21. He's a young player. That's what I like about him, too. Came out after his junior season, freshman and sophomore year. Didn't do much, but then broke out. I love his size, 6'5", 260. You get Nick Foles and or Mitch Trubisky, a young, solid option at the tight end position. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think it's a solid pick. It's a safe pick. I don't think Cole Kmet's going to bust, so I think it's a pretty safe pick, which is not always the route that Ryan Pace has gone. So in the end, I think this is a good selection for the Chicago Bears. 515 yards last year, 6 receiving touchdowns. I think he was more of a late second round grade for me personally. But middle of the second round, you're splitting hairs at that point. So all in all, I think it's a pretty good option for the Chicago Bears. It's a safe pick. I think he's still improving as a player. As we saw last year, this was by far his best year in college. So Cole Kmet going to the Bears at pick number 43 is certainly a decent option. So go ahead and predict Cole Kmet's stats in 2020. Go ahead and predict them down below. Hard to say, right? Because what is Jimmy Graham's role going to be? Is he the primary starter? Is there a lot of 2 tight end sets? How about 400 yards and 4 touchdowns? Can we get that from Kmet? Between 300 and 400 yards and 4 touchdowns as a rookie? I think that would be great. I think the better thing is, can Graham and Kmet combine for 700 to 800 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns? Like, I don't know if they'll combine for 1,000 plus, but can you get 800 yards and 8 touchdowns out of Kmet and Graham? I think that would be an excellent result for the Chicago Bears. So go ahead and predict Cole Kmet's stats in 2020. He is the Bears selection at number 43 overall. I plug him in as tight end 2. I think he'll have a chance to challenge for tight end 1 and compete for snaps with Jimmy Graham. I think he's definitely a better blocker than Jimmy Graham, even as a rookie. Graham's never been a blocker, especially later in his career. Graham is, hey, in the red zone, we're going to feature you. In key situations, third downs, you're a good option for Nick Foles or Trubisky. Demetrius Harris, I think he's a good third tight end, so he slides down a spot. Cole Kmet slides in as tight end number 2. I think you can do some intriguing things with this offense in 2 tight end looks. I'm excited about the potential of it. I wish they would have seen if he was going to be available at pick number 50, but in the end, I think this is an above-average pick for the Chicago Bears. We hope this is an above-average YouTube channel. We're approaching 6,000 subscribers thanks to a lot of you guys. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button. More subs equals more videos. Pretty simple formula right there. So if you guys subscribe, if we get more of them, get to 6,000 subs pretty soon, trying to get there by the end of the day today, or at least by the end of the draft, then we'll keep increasing our content. We're already putting out videos almost every single day. So go ahead, hit that big red subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Also, can I get some more Twitter followers? I'm struggling a little bit. I still haven't hit 1,000. I'm at 833 as we sit right now. There's over 300 of you guys watching on YouTube. Can we get, let's at least get me to, I don't know, can we get me to 875 right now? About 40 of you guys follow me. Get me to 875. I want to get to 1,000, but go ahead and follow me on Twitter. It's at HGramNFL. Again, one more time, that's at HGramNFL. All right, I'll get some shout-outs to some of you guys following me here on Chicago Bears Now in just a moment. Follow me at HGramNFL on Twitter. Jaden Kapanik, I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I would greatly appreciate it. Get me to 1,000 Twitter followers if you guys can help me out. I'll shout out some of you guys that follow me on Twitter. I'm at 833 followers as of now, trying to get to 1,000 at least by the end of the NFL draft, if not by the end of day 2. So go ahead and give me a follow. Jaden already gave me a follow. Jack gave me a follow as well. So a couple of you guys giving me follows. I greatly appreciate that. Here it comes. Sometimes Twitter takes some time. All right. 150 Dream Team gave me a follow. Nate gave me a follow. Greatly appreciate you guys. Nick Perry also followed me. Like I mentioned, Jaden already. So 4 or 5 new followers coming in. So we're going to get to 1,000 together. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at HGramNFL. I'll shout you guys out throughout the night. Speaking of shout-outs, how about asking me some questions as we wait for the number 50 pick? Use hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Promise you this, if you Super Chat, that is your best chance to get your question on the show. Your second best chance is using hashtag Bears. So go ahead and get your questions in. And producer Dylan, it's easier for him to find your questions when you either Super Chat or use hashtag Bears. It makes it a lot easier for him. So go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll answer as many of them as I can as we get closer and closer to pick number 50. Go ahead and use hashtag Bears. I'll get a couple of shout-outs coming in here. Antoine says 50 better be a cornerback. I agree. I think a corner or offensive line there is going to be an option. Cooper says, I've followed since 200. Greatly appreciate it. All right, the Epic Gaming Wiz, quite a name there, using hashtag Bears. I would have wanted a cornerback rather than a tight end because Diggs has more potential than Cole. Do you agree? Probably more potential, but I think Diggs has more chance to bust as well. He does have some deep coverage issues, in my opinion. I think long-term, Trayvon Diggs actually may be a safety in the NFL. He's 6'2", 207. I like him. I would have had no problem going Diggs at 43 and maybe getting KMET at 50. In fact, I probably would have preferred that option, but just keep in mind, Diggs has a chance to bust. There's a reason he has slid a little bit in the NFL draft. Speaking of the draft, speaking of Ryan Pace, how much do you trust him? Scale it 1 to 10 for me. I'll get a few shout-outs going on here in the comments section. Go ahead and scale it from 1 to 10. How much do you trust Ryan Pace? I'll get a couple of shout-outs. Humble Vegas says 10. Wow. I don't know if I trust any NFL GM at a 10, but Ryan Pace would not be one of them. Ron says a 2. Antoine says a 5. I'm in the middle, Antoine. I think I'm at about a 5 or 6 right now. RT says 5, Chris says 3.5, Will says 1, Chris says 1. We'll recap the last couple of picks here in just a moment. I know a lot of you guys want to know some of the other players that have been drafted. We will recap for you guys here in just a moment, but keep those coming in. Tony Grain says 6, Alex says 4, Kevin Mitchell says 4, Ronnie Dumas says, Duenas says 4, James Fox says 1, Stuart Jones says 2, Tim Creed says 3. So keep those coming in. How much do you trust Ryan Pace? Scale it 1 to 10. 1 means not at all. 10 means you think he's the best GM in the NFL. So let's recap some of the picks. It went KMET at 43. Then Grant Delpit went on the board to the Cleveland Browns, the safety out of LSU. He goes to Cleveland at pick number 45. Bears target went. It was Antoine Winfield Jr. So you're seeing the run on safeties start to go as Winfield Jr. Ended up landing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Delpit at 44, Winfield Jr. at number 45 as we go back-to-back safeties over the last couple of picks. Another player I think the Bears would have been interested in, maybe at pick number 50, KJ Hamler. He is off the board, the wide receiver out of Penn State. I kind of like what Denver's done. They're doubling down. So they've got Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler to go along with Courtland Sutton. I think that is very, very interesting how they're trying to build around Drew Lock up in Denver. I like both those picks. So that's kind of where we're at right now as we sit at pick number 47. We approaching the Bears' second pick at pick number 50 coming up just in a few moments. So right now the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. It goes Atlanta, the Jets, the Steelers, and then the Chicago Bears will be back on the clock. KJ Hamler to Denver, the most recent pick. Keep using hashtag Bears. How has the Bears been doing? Well, they made one pick, and it was Cole Kmet about 7 minutes ago. Good pick. I gave it a B. I think it's a solid pick. I would have gone Christian Fulton personally or Trayvon Diggs. I think those are two solid corners on the board, but they're still available. Both are still available, so we will see if the Bears get one of those guys at number 50. Good chance at least one of them gets there. Kmet, though, 6'5", 260. If you're just now joining us, he is the pick to the Bears. I think he's Kyle Rudolph with a little more upside. I think that's what you're looking at here. Solid all around. Doesn't have any weaknesses. Doesn't have any major strengths. Like he's not the best, the fastest guy. He's probably not going to average 17 yards a catch or anything like that, but he's a good blocker. He's a good receiver, and he has good hands. I like the pick overall. We got a super chat coming in from Riley. If you super chat, you're just about guaranteed to get on the show. Do you think the Bears go with a safety, possibly Chin, or do you think they go cornerback and possibly wide receiver? I'm nervous about our right guard spot. So you asked about 4 positions there. Those are kind of the biggest needs, though, right? Corner, safety, offensive line, wide receiver. I think those are the directions you could go here. I doubt it'll be receiver. After going tight end at 43, I think you got to go defense or offensive line. Ashton Davis, the safety out of Cal, is an interesting prospect. He's more of a free safety, though. Played some corner in college as well. Jeremy Chin is intriguing. I don't think Burgess or Wallace would go here in round 2, at least in the top 50. But Jeremy Chin is an athletic freak. He's the kid out of Southern Illinois that just tore up the combine and has just skyrocketed up draft board. So I would not be disappointed in that pick. If they go cornerback, guys, Christian Fulton, Trayvon Diggs, Jalen Johnson, Bryce Hall, they're all still available. Any of these picks would be good. I would be good with any of those picks. Bryce Hall would have been a first-round pick last year if he didn't break his ankle at Virginia in 2019. If he came out after 2018 when he led the nation in 21 pass breakups, he'd have been a first-round pick. So he's got good talent. I think recently he got a good report on his ankle too, so he's recovering nicely. I wouldn't mind that pick whatsoever. If you want to look at wide receivers, Devin Duvernay, Tyler Johnson. I'm intrigued by Johnson. I think round 2 is a little rich for both those players personally. You've kind of seen KJ Hamler is kind of the last guy, in terms of would you be comfortable taking him at 50? If he was there and they took him, I wouldn't argue with it. I don't know if I can go Duvernay or Johnson here, though. Lynn Bowden's an interesting player. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a good athlete. Not at pick 50, though. I think that's a little rich. Interior offensive line, I wouldn't hate Matt Hennessy or Lloyd Cushenberry or Damian Lewis. I would like to see, if they're intrigued about taking a guard/center, which is what these guys are, how about a trade down? Because I think Hennessy or Lewis or Cushenberry, if they're all still available at 50, I think you could slide down a few picks, pick up an extra pick in the process, and still get one of these guys. I think that could be an option for the Chicago Bears. I'd be curious to see how many of you guys want to trade down from pick number 50. But first, I'll recap some of these guys. Matt Hennessy, Damian Lewis, Lloyd Cushenberry. Lewis and Cushenberry obviously teammates at LSU. The Bears took Cole Kmet at number 43. Should they trade down for more picks, though, from pick number 50? What do you guys think? Type T for trade, type K for keep. Let me know if you guys think the Bears should trade down for more picks. I'm intrigued by it. Look, I'm very tempted to take Trayvon Diggs or Christian Fulton if they're available at number 50. I really am. But, hey, if they're both available and all those offensive linemen are available, maybe you trade down a few spots, get an extra pick, and end up getting one of those players anyway. So type T for trade, type K for keep. I'll get some shout-outs going here. D. Gonzo says K. David says K. Regine says T. Zach says T. Hugh Heaven says T. Alex Stevens says K. Gary Cowles says T. Jeff says K. Saji says T. Jeffsy Gordon says K. Humble Vegas says T. It's pretty 50-50 split. I'm with you guys. I think, look, if you have a strong opinion about one of these players, if their board tells them that Christian Fulton's by far the best player available, then you just draft them. Like, that's what you do. But if you kind of have this grouping of players that you say, okay, 1 through 10 left on our board are pretty close, then trade down, get extra draft picks, because as we guys know, the Bears don't pick again until round 5. The Bears have 2 second-round picks, and then they don't pick again for quite a while. So I do think trading down could be a big-time option for the Chicago Bears. I want you guys to join the NOTI gang here on Chicago Bears Now. What I mean by that is hit that notification bell. It's right next to the subscribe button. Here's the thing. A lot of you guys probably think, oh, I subscribe. That means I know when all the videos go up on the channel. No, 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 no. You got to turn on notifications. Then it'll send a NOTI to your phone as soon as we post a video or as soon as we go live. You hit that bell, you're never going to miss a video because it's going to send you that notification. So go ahead and turn on notification bells. Also subscribe if you haven't already, but I assume a lot of you guys have. So if you've already subscribed, hit that notification bell and make sure you never miss a video here on Chicago Bears Now. So the Bears are a couple picks away from selecting again at pick number 50. We got over 450 of you guys live watching our 2020 NFL draft coverage for the Chicago Bears. Day 2 of the draft. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock in round 2. So we will get that fixed in just a moment for you guys. The Falcons are on the clock at pick number 47. All right, the Epic Games is another question. Do you think Mitch might be traded mid-season for picks if he isn't a top 5 QB or top 15 QB this season? Sorry, I couldn't see that. I believe they would. What do you think? I don't know if trading him mid-season is maximizing his value. I think if you're going to maximize it, you probably have to trade him now because I think Nick Foles is going to start. So if you try to ship him in the middle of the year, what are you going to get for him? A 6th-round pick? I think maybe now you get a 4th. So if you're going to move him, I would do it now rather than later. All right, the pick is in for the Atlanta Falcons. They go defensive tackle. It's Marlon Davidson. Played some edge in college as well, but he's beefed up as he's gotten ready for the NFL draft here. He's up over 300 pounds. Tom Downey's a big fan of his. He has him as a top 40 player on his board, so this is good value for the Falcons as they go Marlon Davidson out of Auburn. 6'3", 303, good athlete, a 5'04", 40 when you're over 300 pounds. That is pretty fast. I don't want to see Marlon Davidson running at me at that speed and at that size. Good production last year at Auburn, 8 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. Good selection for the Falcons. This helps Atlanta because I did not love their pick of A.J. Terrell. We talked about Terrell a little bit on here on Chicago Bears Now, getting him in the 2nd round. Guys, the Falcons took him at number 16. That is not very good in the end. But Davidson at number 47, I think that is pretty good value. All right, so the Bears are a couple of picks away. We got 48 and 49 coming up, and then the Bears will be back on the clock at pick number 50. So we are closing in on the Bears' next NFL draft selection. So overall, I think the Bears have to be feeling pretty good about who is still on the board. Christian Fulton's still available. Who's the other corner? I told you, Trayvon Diggs is still available. Had a bit of a brain fart there, so I'm excited about what's coming at pick number 50. Humble Vegas using hashtag Bears. Guys, if you use hashtag Bears or Super Chat, I will feature your questions on the show. It helps producer Dylan out as well. What position is our weakest link? I think it's interior offensive line. I'm hoping Juan Castillo comes in and gets these guys to play a little bit better, but I think it's interior offensive line. We do have a trade here. The Jets are trading with Seattle. Seattle's receiving that pick, right, producer Dylan? Okay, so the Jets are shipping away this pick to Seattle, number 48 overall, so we'll see what they do at pick number 48. But yeah, I think interior offensive line, I'm not convinced that the Bears' current group of cornerbacks, that they have a true number 2 corner. You know, obviously they released Prince Amukamara right before NFL free agency. By the way, he hadn't been signed yet, so they could bring him back if they really wanted to. But I think cornerback 2 and interior offensive line are the 2 areas that are probably the weakest links for the Chicago Bears. So thank you for the question, Humble Vegas. Use hashtag Bears to get your questions on the show. You can also super chat who's Who did it earlier? Who super chatted earlier? I can't even remember who super chatted. It was Riley super chat earlier. We got his question up right away. Who is your favorite player on the Bears currently? Not all time, currently. Who is your favorite Bears player? Sure, we'll get a lot of Khalil Max. I'll get some shout-outs going here. Let's try and get over 100 comments per minute. Let's try and get the comments up. We got over 450 of you guys live, so shout out your favorite player on the Bears. Let's get 100 comments per minute here. I'll get a couple of shout-outs coming here in just a second as we get these coming in. Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Jackson from Humble Vegas, Andrew Jimenez, Fuller is the best. From Andrew, Balaji says Brown, Allen Robinson from Tony and from Omar, Mitch Trubisky from D. Gonza. We'll see if he's the starter this year. Chris Techno says Cordero Patterson, Walter Payton coming in from KJ, but he's not currently on the Bears. So keep those coming in. Let's try and get over 1,000 comments per minute here on Chicago Bears Now. Go ahead and get yourself a Chicago Bears jersey as well. You go to this link, chat, not just the new players, you can get old players as well. So go to chatsports.com/Bears1. That link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description as well. It's chatsports.com/Bears1. Next question here coming in from Chicago Sports Network. Do you want to get a G or T? I think offensive guard is a bigger need. Right guard, there's a major hole. Coward cannot be your starting right guard, especially with that last name, guys. I mean, let's just be real and call it what it is. The Bears have got to get help on the interior of that offensive line. You got to get help at the guard position. I think that's an option here at pick 50. I think cornerback is an option here at pick number 50. But, yeah, I mean, you could get a do we have that Seahawks pick yet? As we're still waiting at pick number 48. Guys, this Bears offense, or this Bears team went 8-line play and not very good quarterback play. I think there's a good chance this team is back in the playoffs next year if the quarterback play is average. And I think there's a decent chance that could be the case. So the Seahawks have made their pick. They're going Darrell Taylor, the edge out of Tennessee. This is not great. They took who did they take last night? Jordan Brooks, the linebacker out of Texas Tech. They reached for him. They reached for Darrell Taylor here. I don't like this pick for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not really sure what they are doing at number 48 overall. Older prospect, 23 years old out of Tennessee. I thought he'd be a late third, early fourth type of guy. He gets in the middle of round 2. Pretty surprised there. So the Steelers are on the clock at number 49 overall, which means the Bears are up next with the number 50 overall.